Welcome to Wisdom Audiobooks. Have you ever wondered why sometimes we feel trapped in our own thoughts, even though we know our potential is limitless? Imagine being held back by invisible barriers. Barriers that exist not in the world around us, but within our own minds. These barriers are real, and they're rooted in how our brains function. But here's the good news. Understanding these hidden forces can unlock a new level of personal growth and transformation. This audiobook will guide you through the science of your brain, helping you identify and overcome these mental roadblocks with 10 powerful rules to change your life. Introduction. The audiobook Your Brain is Secretly Holding You Back. 10 Brain Rules to Change Your Life is written and published by Wisdom Audiobooks. We live in a fast-paced world where stress, distractions, and self-doubt often cloud our minds. Many of you listening right now may feel stuck, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal growth journey. Perhaps you're a young adult striving for success but struggling to stay focused. Or maybe you're a busy professional overwhelmed by deadlines and responsibilities. Some of you might be students trying to excel academically, while others are parents seeking balance and meaning in life. No matter who you are, your brain has secrets that could either hold you back or propel you forward. Let me tell you something. I understand what it feels like to be trapped in a cycle of frustration and self-doubt. There was a time when I felt as if my mind was working against me instead of for me. I would procrastinate on important tasks, lose focus during critical moments, and struggle to break free from old habits. It wasn't until I delved deep into neuroscience and psychology that I realized my brain wasn't the enemy. It was simply operating on outdated programming. Once I learned how to rewire my thinking patterns and apply proven strategies, everything changed. And today, I want to share those insights with you. In this audiobook, you'll discover 10 transformative brain rules designed to help you take control of your mind and reshape your life. These rules are grounded in cutting-edge research and practical wisdom, offering you actionable steps to boost productivity, manage stress, enhance learning, and cultivate emotional resilience. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools to overcome mental barriers and achieve the success you've always dreamed of. So, stay tuned and listen carefully, because every word in this audiobook is crafted to empower you. As Albert Einstein once said, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change." Let this audiobook be your guide to embracing change and unlocking your true potential. Your wisdom journey starts here. Chapter 1: How Your Brain Works. The Hidden Obstacles. In this chapter, we'll dive deep into how your brain works and uncover the hidden obstacles that might be keeping you from reaching your full potential. Understanding these mechanisms will not only help you identify why certain behaviors feel so automatic but also give you the power to rewrite them. As we explore the science behind your thoughts, emotions, and actions, remember one thing: knowledge is the first step toward transformation. Now, let's begin by asking a simple yet profound question. Why does it sometimes feel like our brains are working against us? 1. The brain's preference for familiarity. Your brain is an incredible machine, but it has a built-in bias toward familiarity. This preference stems from its primary goal: survival. Think about it. Your ancestors relied on recognizing patterns to avoid danger. Over time, this evolutionary trait became hardwired into your brain. While this was useful in the past, today it often leads to stagnation. For example, have you ever noticed how difficult it is to break out of old routines? Whether it's hitting snooze instead of waking up early or scrolling through social media instead of starting work, your brain prefers what feels safe and predictable, even if those habits no longer serve you. As neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza explains, your personality creates your personal reality. If you want to change your life, you must first understand, and then challenge, the default programming of your brain. 2. The role of stress and cortisol. Stress is another major obstacle that silently sabotages your progress. When you're stressed, your brain releases cortisol, a hormone designed to prepare your body for fight or flight. While this response was crucial for survival thousands of years ago, chronic stress in modern times can wreak havoc on your mental and physical health. High levels of cortisol impair memory, reduce focus, and even shrink areas of the brain responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. This means that when you're under constant pressure, your ability to think clearly and act effectively diminishes significantly. Here's a real-life story to illustrate this point. Meet Sarah, a marketing executive who used to pride herself on her multitasking skills. However, over time, she found herself increasingly forgetful and irritable. After consulting with a psychologist, she realized that her relentless workload had triggered chronic stress, flooding her system with cortisol. Once Sarah began practicing mindfulness techniques and setting boundaries at work, her cognitive function improved dramatically. She learned that managing stress isn't just about feeling better, it's about performing better too. 3. The default mode network, DMN. Why your mind wanders. Another hidden obstacle lies within a fascinating part of your brain called the default mode network, DMN. The DMN becomes active when you're not focused on any specific task, like daydreaming, ruminating, or worrying about the future. While this network plays a role in creativity and self-reflection, excessive DMN activity can lead to unproductive thinking patterns. Studies show that people who spend more time in their DMN tend to experience higher levels of anxiety and depression. They get stuck replaying negative thoughts or imagining worst-case scenarios, which drains their mental energy and prevents them from taking action. So, how do you quiet your DMN? One effective method is mindfulness meditation. Research published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that participants who practiced mindfulness reported reduced symptoms of anxiety and improved attention span. By training your brain to stay present, you can minimize the influence of the DMN and regain control over your thoughts. 4. Breaking free from negative thought loops. Negative thought loops are another common barrier created by your brain. These repetitive cycles of pessimistic thinking can trap you in a state of helplessness, making it seem impossible to move forward. To combat this, try applying the ABC model developed by psychologist Albert Ellis. Here's how it works. A. Activating event. Identify the situation that triggers negative thoughts. B. Belief. Examine the beliefs or assumptions you attach to that event. Are they rational or exaggerated? C. Consequence. Analyze how those beliefs affect your emotions and behavior. By challenging irrational beliefs and reframing your perspective, you can disrupt negative thought loops and create space for positive change. 5. A quote to inspire you. Before we wrap up this chapter, I'd like to leave you with a powerful quote from Maya Angelou. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Remember, while external circumstances may shape your life, your mindset determines how far you go. Chapter 2, Rule Number 1. Understand your default mode network, DMN. In this chapter, we'll explore Rule Number 1. Understand your default mode network, DMN. If you've ever found yourself lost in thought, replaying past conversations or worrying about the future, you've experienced your DMN in action. While this part of your brain plays a vital role in creativity and self-reflection, it can also be a source of distraction and mental fatigue if left unchecked. By the end of this chapter, you'll understand what the DMN is, why it matters, and how to take control of it. Let's begin by diving into the science behind this fascinating network. 1. What is the default mode network, DMN? The default mode network, DMN, is a group of interconnected brain regions that become active when your mind isn't focused on the outside world. It's like the background app running on your brain's operating system. The DMN activates during activities such as daydreaming, reminiscing, or imagining hypothetical scenarios. While the DMN is essential for tasks like introspection and planning, excessive activation can lead to problems. For instance, studies have linked overactive DMN activity to anxiety, depression, and decreased productivity. When your mind wanders too often, it becomes harder to stay present and accomplish meaningful work. As neuroscientist Dr. Marcus Raichle, who first identified the DMN, explains, the brain doesn't rest, it simply shifts its focus. Understanding this shift is key to mastering your mental energy. 2. Why does the DMN matter? Think of the DMN as a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows you to reflect on your experiences, plan for the future, and generate creative ideas. On the other hand, it can pull you away from the present moment, leading to unproductive rumination or overthinking. For example, Imagine you're trying to write an important report. Instead of focusing on the task at hand, your mind drifts to thoughts like, "What if my boss doesn't like it?" Or, "Why did I say that awkward thing yesterday?" These distractions not only slow you down, but also drain your cognitive resources. Research shows that people spend nearly 50% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. That's half your day spent in a mental fog. By learning to manage your DMN, you can reclaim this lost time and redirect your focus toward what truly matters. 3. Practical strategies to quiet your DMN. Now that you understand the impact of the DMN, let's talk about actionable steps you can take to minimize its interference. Here are 3 proven strategies. A. Practice mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is one of the most effective ways to quiet your DMN. By training your brain to focus on the present moment, whether through breathing exercises or body scans, you can reduce wandering thoughts and enhance clarity. A landmark study conducted at Yale University found that regular mindfulness practice decreases activity in the DMN. Participants reported feeling calmer, more focused, and less prone to negative thinking. To get started, try this simple exercise. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. Whenever your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to your breath without judgment. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a significant difference over time. B. Use the Pomodoro technique. Another powerful tool for managing your DMN is the Pomodoro technique. This method involves breaking your work into short, focused intervals, usually 25 minutes, followed by a brief break. During each interval, commit to giving your full attention to the task at hand. Knowing that a break is coming helps prevent your mind from wandering, keeping your DMN in check. Francesco Cirillo, the creator of the Pomodoro technique, once said, "Productivity is about rhythm, not endurance." By working in sprints, you can maintain high levels of focus while giving your brain time to recharge. C. Engage in physical activity. Exercise has been shown to reduce DMN activity and improve overall brain function. Activities like walking, yoga, or even dancing stimulate the release of endorphins, which boost mood and sharpen concentration. A study published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience revealed that participants who engaged in regular aerobic exercise showed reduced DMN connectivity compared to sedentary individuals. Not only does exercise help you feel better physically, but it also clears mental clutter and enhances productivity. 4. A real-life example, turning off the DMN. Let me share a story about John, a software developer struggling with procrastination. Despite his technical skills, John often found himself stuck in cycles of overthinking and self-doubt. His projects would drag on indefinitely because he couldn't stay focused long enough to complete them. After learning about the DMN, John decided to experiment with mindfulness meditation and the Pomodoro technique. Every morning, he began his day with a 10-minute meditation session to center his thoughts. Then, he tackled his coding tasks in 25-minute intervals, taking short breaks in between. Within weeks, John noticed a dramatic improvement in his ability to concentrate. He stopped obsessing over minor details and started completing projects ahead of schedule. By understanding and controlling his DMN, John transformed both his career and his mindset. 5. A quote to reflect on. Before moving forward, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking quote from philosopher Lao Tzu. If you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. Managing your DMN is not just about improving focus, it's about aligning your thoughts with your goals. Chapter 3. Rule number 2. Master the art of focus. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 2. Master the art of focus. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by distractions or struggled to stay on task, you're not alone. The modern world bombards us with notifications, emails, and endless streams of information, making it harder than ever to concentrate. But here's the truth, focus isn't just a skill, it's a superpower. By the end of this chapter, you'll understand the science behind focus, learn how to extend your attention span, and discover actionable strategies to eliminate distractions. Let's dive in and unlock your ability to achieve deep, sustained concentration. 1. Why focus is the key to success. Focus is the foundation of productivity, creativity, and mastery. When you concentrate fully on a single task, your brain enters a state known as flow, where time seems to disappear, and your performance soars. This concept was first introduced by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, who described flow as the optimal state of consciousness where we feel our best and perform our best. However, achieving flow requires more than just willpower. It demands intentional effort to minimize distractions and create the right conditions for focus. Unfortunately, many people sabotage their ability to concentrate without even realizing it. For example, consider this. The average person checks their phone over 150 times per day, often interrupting important tasks. Each interruption resets your brain's focus timer, costing you valuable mental energy. It's no wonder that maintaining attention feels like an uphill battle. As Steve Jobs once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. True innovation and success requires the ability to focus deeply on what truly matters. 2. The science of attention. To master focus, it's essential to understand how your brain processes attention. Research shows that your brain can only sustain intense focus for 90 to 120 minutes before needing a break. This is due to the ultradian rhythm, a natural cycle of energy peaks and troughs throughout the day. During these high-energy periods, your brain operates at peak efficiency, allowing you to tackle complex tasks with ease. However, trying to push through fatigue or ignoring your body's signals leads to burnout and diminished performance. Additionally, multitasking, a common habit in today's fast-paced world, is a major enemy of focus. Studies have shown that switching between tasks reduces productivity by up to 40%. Instead of accomplishing more, multitasking fragments your attention and lowers the quality of your work. 3. Strategies to enhance your focus. Now that you understand the importance of focus, let's discuss practical ways to strengthen this critical skill. Here are 3 proven methods. A. Create a distraction-free environment. The first step to improving focus is eliminating external distractions. Start by decluttering your workspace. Remove unnecessary items and organize your materials. Next, silence your phone or place it out of reach. If possible, use noise-canceling headphones or play calming background music to block out ambient sounds. A study published in Applied Cognitive Psychology found that participants who worked in quiet environments completed tasks faster and with fewer errors compared to those exposed to background noise. Small changes to your surroundings can yield big results. B. Use time blocking techniques. Time blocking involves scheduling specific blocks of time for focused work, ensuring that you dedicate uninterrupted attention to each task. For instance, instead of leaving your day open-ended, set aside 2 hours in the morning for writing, followed by an hour for meetings, and so on. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, emphasizes the power of time blocking. Clarity about what matters provides clarity about what does not. By prioritizing your most important tasks, you can avoid wasting time on low-value activities. C. Practice single tasking. Contrary to popular belief, multitasking doesn't make you more efficient, it makes you less effective. Instead, embrace single tasking, focusing on one activity at a time until it's complete. This approach allows your brain to dive deeper into the task, enhancing both speed and accuracy. For example, if you're reading a book, resist the urge to check your phone or browse social media. Immersing yourself fully in the material will improve comprehension and retention. 4. A real-life example, transforming focus. Let me share the story of Emma, a freelance graphic designer who struggled with procrastination and scattered attention. Her clients often complained about missed deadlines, and she frequently felt frustrated with her inability to finish projects on time. Determined to change, Emma implemented several focus-enhancing strategies. She started by setting up a dedicated workspace free from distractions. She also adopted time blocking, dedicating 3-hour chunks of her day to design work while reserving shorter periods for administrative tasks. Finally, she committed to single tasking, resisting the temptation to answer emails or scroll through Instagram during creative sessions. Within months, Emma noticed a remarkable shift. Not only did her productivity skyrocket, but her clients began praising the quality of her work. By mastering the art of focus, Emma transformed her career and regained control of her time. 5. A quote to inspire you. Before we wrap up this chapter, I'd like to leave you with a powerful quote from Bruce Lee. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. Mastering focus isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most with unwavering dedication. Chapter 4, Rule Number 3. Leverage the power of habit formation. In this chapter, we'll explore Rule Number 3. Leverage the power of habit formation. Did you know that nearly 40% of your daily actions are driven by habits rather than conscious decisions? This means that the routines you follow, whether productive or destructive, play a massive role in shaping your life. Understanding how habits work gives you the power to transform your behavior and achieve lasting change. By the end of this chapter, you'll learn the science behind habit formation, discover how to break bad habits, and master the art of building new, positive ones. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to creating habits that serve you. 1. The science of habits, the cue routine reward loop. At the heart of every habit lies a simple neurological loop known as the cue routine reward cycle. This framework was first outlined by Charles Duhigg in his best-selling book The Power of Habit. Here's how it works. Cue, a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and execute a specific behavior. Routine, the actual behavior or action you perform, which can be physical, mental, or emotional. Reward, the benefit you gain from completing the routine, which reinforces the habit loop. For example, imagine someone who craves a cup of coffee every morning. The cue might be the sound of their alarm clock, the routine is brewing and drinking coffee, and the reward is the feeling of alertness it provides. Over time, this loop becomes ingrained in the brain, making the habit automatic. As Aristotle famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Building good habits is the key to achieving excellence in any area of life. 2. Why breaking bad habits is so hard. Breaking bad habits isn't easy because your brain loves efficiency. Once a habit is formed, your brain essentially outsources the decision-making process to save energy. This is why resisting temptation feels like such a struggle. It requires overriding your brain's default programming. Take procrastination, for instance. If you've developed the habit of delaying tasks until the last minute, your brain associates the immediate relief of avoidance with a reward. Even though procrastination harms your long-term goals, the short-term satisfaction keeps the habit alive. To break a bad habit, you need to disrupt the cue routine reward loop. Instead of trying to suppress the behavior, replace it with a healthier alternative. For example, if you tend to snack on junk food while working, you could swap it out for a nutritious option like fruit or nuts. Over time, your brain will begin to associate the new routine with the same reward, effectively rewiring the habit. 3. How to build positive habits that stick. Now that you understand how habits work, let's talk about how to create new ones. Here are 3 proven strategies. A. Start small with micro-habits. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to build habits is aiming too high. Instead of committing to an hour-long workout every day, start with something manageable, like doing 5 push-ups after brushing your teeth. Research shows that small, consistent actions lead to sustainable change. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, explains, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Focus on building systems that support incremental progress, and the results will follow naturally. B. Use implementation intentions. Implementation intentions involve planning exactly when and where you'll perform a new habit. For example, instead of saying, "I want to read more," specify, "I will read for 15 minutes at 7 p.m. in my living room." Studies have shown that people who use implementation intentions are significantly more likely to stick to their goals. By removing ambiguity, you eliminate excuses and increase accountability. C. Celebrate small wins. Rewards are crucial for reinforcing new habits. Every time you complete a desired behavior, take a moment to celebrate, even if it's something as simple as saying, "Great job!" out loud. Positive reinforcement strengthens the neural pathways associated with the habit, making it easier to repeat in the future. Over time, the habit becomes automatic, requiring less effort to maintain. 4. A real-life example, transforming through habits. Let me share the story of Michael, a college student struggling with poor grades and low motivation. Despite his intelligence, Michael found himself falling behind in class due to procrastination and disorganization. Determined to turn things around, Michael decided to focus on building better study habits. He started small, committing to reviewing his notes for just 5 minutes each evening before bed. Using implementation intentions, he scheduled this activity immediately after dinner, ensuring consistency. To stay motivated, Michael celebrated small wins along the way. After completing his nightly review, he would treat himself to a favorite TV episode or a piece of dark chocolate. Over time, his 5-minute sessions grew into longer, more productive study periods. By the end of the semester, Michael had improved his grades dramatically and regained confidence in his abilities. 5. A quote to reflect on. Before we conclude this chapter, I'd like to leave you with an inspiring quote from Mahatma Gandhi. "The future depends on what you do today." Building positive habits may seem like a small step, but its impact on your life can be profound. Chapter 5. Rule number 4. Harness the neuroscience of motivation. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 4. Harness the neuroscience of motivation. Have you ever wondered why some days you feel unstoppable, while other days even the simplest tasks seem impossible? The answer lies in your brain's reward system and how it drives your motivation. Understanding the neuroscience behind motivation will help you unlock a powerful source of energy to achieve your goals. By the end of this chapter, you'll learn how to tap into your brain's natural mechanisms for staying driven and overcoming procrastination. Let's dive in and discover how to sustain motivation over the long term. 1. The role of dopamine, the motivation molecule. At the heart of motivation is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Often referred to as the feel-good chemical, dopamine plays a crucial role in driving action and reinforcing behaviors. When you anticipate a reward, whether it's completing a task, achieving a goal, or enjoying a treat, your brain releases dopamine, creating a sense of pleasure and satisfaction. However, here's the catch. Dopamine isn't just about experiencing rewards, it's also about anticipating them. Studies show that the anticipation of a reward can be more motivating than the reward itself. This is why setting clear, achievable goals is so important. Each step toward your goal triggers a dopamine release, keeping you motivated to continue. As behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner once said, "The best way to understand behavior is to look at what happens right after it." Understanding how dopamine works allows you to design systems that keep you engaged and energized. 2. Why motivation fades and how to fix it. One of the biggest challenges with motivation is its tendency to fade over time. This happens because our brains are wired to prioritize short-term rewards over long-term benefits. For example, watching TV feels immediately satisfying, while working on a project might not yield results for weeks or months. To combat this, break your larger goals into smaller milestones. Each milestone should be specific, measurable, and achievable within a short time frame. Completing these mini-goals provides a steady stream of dopamine hits, keeping your motivation high. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, focus on writing just one chapter or even one page per day. Celebrate each small victory along the way. Over time, these incremental wins add up, creating momentum that propels you forward. 3. Strategies to sustain motivation. Now that you understand the science of motivation, let's discuss practical strategies to harness it. Here are 3 proven methods. A. Create a vision board. A vision board is a visual representation of your goals and aspirations. Fill it with images, quotes, and affirmations that inspire you. Place it somewhere visible, like your desk or bedroom wall, to serve as a daily reminder of what you're working toward. Research shows that visualization activates the same regions of the brain as actually performing the task. By regularly looking at your vision board, you reinforce your commitment and reignite your motivation. B. Use the 2-minute rule. If starting a task feels overwhelming, use the 2-minute rule. Commit to working on it for just 2 minutes. Once you begin, you'll often find it easier to keep going. This strategy works because it reduces the mental barrier to getting started. As productivity expert David Allen explains, you don't need to finish a task, you just need to start it. C. Surround yourself with positive influences. Motivation is contagious. Spend time with people who inspire and support you, whether it's friends, mentors, or colleagues. Their energy and enthusiasm can fuel your own drive. Additionally, consume content that uplifts and educates you. Whether it's motivational podcasts, inspiring books, or TED Talks, surrounding yourself with positivity reinforces your mindset. 4. A real-life example, reigniting motivation. Let me share the story of Lisa, a young entrepreneur who lost her passion for running her online business. Despite initial success, Lisa felt burned out and unmotivated to innovate or grow her brand. To reignite her drive, Lisa implemented several neuroscience-based strategies. She created a vision board filled with images of her dream lifestyle and reminders of why she started her business. She also broke her quarterly revenue goals into weekly targets, celebrating each milestone with a small reward, like treating herself to dinner. Finally, Lisa joined a mastermind group of fellow entrepreneurs who shared their challenges and successes. Their encouragement reignited her creativity and gave her the push she needed to take her business to the next level. Within 6 months, Lisa doubled her income and rediscovered her love for entrepreneurship. 5. A quote to inspire you. Before we wrap up this chapter, I'd like to leave you with a powerful quote from Zig Ziglar. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, either does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. Motivation requires consistent effort, but with the right tools, you can keep it alive and thriving. Chapter 6. Rule number 5. Manage stress like a pro. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 5. Manage stress like a pro. Stress is an unavoidable part of life, but how you handle it determines whether it becomes a barrier or a catalyst for growth. Chronic stress can hijack your brain, impairing focus, memory, and decision-making. However, with the right tools, you can transform stress into a source of strength. By the end of this chapter, you'll understand the impact of stress on your brain, learn techniques to manage it effectively, and discover how to build resilience against future challenges. Let's dive in and take control of your mental well-being. 1. The impact of stress on your brain. When you experience stress, your brain activates the fight or flight response, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. While this reaction was essential for survival in ancient times, prolonged exposure to cortisol can harm your brain. Studies show that chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and learning, while enlarging the amygdala, which processes fear and anxiety. This imbalance leaves you feeling overwhelmed, forgetful, and emotionally reactive. It's no wonder that stress is often linked to burnout, depression, and poor performance. As neuroscientist Dr. Bruce McEwen explains, the brain is constantly adapting to its environment, but too much stress can push it beyond its limits. The key is not to eliminate stress entirely, it's to manage it effectively so it doesn't take over your life. 2. Differentiating between good stress and bad stress. Not all stress is harmful. In fact, short bursts of stress, known as eustress, can be beneficial. For example, the pressure of meeting a deadline can boost productivity and creativity. This type of stress motivates you to perform at your best. On the other hand, distress occurs when stress becomes overwhelming or prolonged. It drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and damages your health. Learning to distinguish between these two types of stress is crucial for maintaining balance. Ask yourself, is this stress helping me grow, or is it holding me back? If the answer is the latter, it's time to take action. 3. Strategies to manage stress effectively. Now that you understand the effects of stress, let's discuss practical ways to manage it. Here are 3 proven techniques. A. Practice deep breathing exercises. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to calm your nervous system is through deep breathing. When you breathe deeply, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which counteracts the stress response. Try this exercise. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and exhale for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle 5 times whenever you feel stressed. Research shows that deep breathing lowers cortisol levels and promotes relaxation. B. Engage in physical activity. Exercise is a natural antidote to stress. Activities like running, swimming, or yoga reduce cortisol levels while increasing endorphins, the body's natural mood boosters. Even a 10-minute walk can clear your mind and restore focus. A study published in The Lancet found that people who exercised regularly reported fewer days of poor mental health compared to those who were sedentary. Make movement a non-negotiable part of your routine. It's one of the best investments you can make in your well-being. C. Reframe your perspective. How you perceive stress plays a significant role in how it affects you. Instead of viewing stress as a threat, reframe it as a challenge. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm overwhelmed by this project," tell yourself, "This project will help me grow and develop new skills." Psychologist Kelly McGonigal emphasizes this shift in mindset. Stress isn't always the enemy. When you choose to see it as helpful, you create the biology of courage. By changing your narrative, you empower yourself to face challenges head-on. 4. A real-life example, turning stress into strength. Let me share the story of David, a high school teacher who struggled with burnout. After years of juggling demanding students, tight deadlines, and administrative tasks, David felt physically and emotionally exhausted. His stress levels were so high that he began experiencing insomnia and irritability. Determined to reclaim his well-being, David implemented several stress management strategies. He started practicing mindfulness meditation every morning, using guided apps to stay consistent. He also joined a local cycling group, finding joy in physical activity and camaraderie. Finally, he reframed his perspective on teaching, focusing on the positive impact he had on his students rather than the pressures of the job. Within months, David noticed a dramatic improvement in his mental and physical health. He felt more energized, patient, and fulfilled in his career. By managing stress proactively, David transformed his life both personally and professionally. 5. A quote to reflect on. Before we conclude this chapter, I'd like to leave you with an inspiring quote from Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. Managing stress begins with recognizing that you have the power to respond differently. Chapter 7. Rule number 6. Boost your memory and learning skills. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 6. Boost your memory and learning skills. Whether you're a student trying to ace exams, a professional mastering new skills, or simply someone eager to learn more about the world, improving your memory and learning abilities can open doors to endless possibilities. By the end of this chapter, you'll uncover science-backed strategies to enhance your brain's ability to retain information, process knowledge faster, and apply what you've learned effectively. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to becoming a lifelong learner. 1. The science of memory, how your brain learns. Your brain's ability to learn and remember is rooted in neuroplasticity, the capacity of your neurons to form new connections. Every time you learn something new, your brain strengthens existing neural pathways or creates entirely new ones. However, not all memories are created equal. There are 3 stages of memory formation: encoding, taking in information, storage, retaining it, and retrieval, accessing it when needed. To optimize each stage, you need to adopt techniques that align with how your brain naturally processes information. As cognitive psychologist Dr. Daniel Shatter explains, memory is the glue that binds our mental life together. Strengthening your memory isn't just about remembering facts, it's about building a foundation for growth. 2. Strategies to enhance memory and learning. Now that you understand the basics of memory, let's discuss practical ways to boost your learning skills. Here are 3 proven methods. A. Use visualization and association techniques. Your brain remembers images better than abstract concepts. To improve retention, turn information into vivid mental pictures. For example, if you're trying to memorize a list of items, imagine them as part of a story or associate them with familiar objects. The method of loci, also known as the memory palace technique, is a powerful tool used by memory champions. It involves visualizing a familiar place, like your home, and placing pieces of information in specific locations within it. When you need to recall the information, mentally walk through the space to retrieve it. B. Practice spaced repetition. Instead of cramming all at once, spread your study sessions over time using spaced repetition. This technique leverages the spacing effect, which shows that reviewing information at increasing intervals improves long-term retention. Apps like Anki or Quizlet use algorithms to schedule reviews based on how well you remember each piece of information. Incorporating this method into your routine ensures that knowledge sticks without overwhelming your brain. C. Prioritize sleep for memory consolidation. Sleep plays a critical role in memory consolidation, the process of transferring information from short-term to long-term storage. During deep sleep, your brain replays experiences, strengthening neural connections and organizing data. Research shows that students who get adequate sleep perform significantly better on tests than those who pull all-nighters. Make sleep a priority by establishing a consistent bedtime routine and aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality rest each night. 3. A real-life example: mastering memory through practice. Let me share the story of Anna, a medical student overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information she needed to memorize. Frustrated by her inability to retain details, Anna decided to experiment with memory-enhancing techniques. She began using visualization to remember complex anatomical terms, associating each term with a vivid image. She also adopted spaced repetition, reviewing material daily instead of cramming before exams. Finally, she prioritized sleep, understanding its importance in solidifying her learning. Within weeks, Anna noticed a remarkable improvement in her recall ability. Not only did she ace her exams, but she also felt more confident in applying her knowledge during clinical rotations. By optimizing her memory and learning strategies, Anna transformed her academic journey. 4. A quote to inspire you. Before we wrap up this chapter, I'd like to leave you with a thought-provoking quote from Albert Einstein. Once you stop learning, you start dying. Cultivating a sharp memory and a love for learning keeps your mind alive and thriving. Chapter 8. Rule number 7. Cultivate emotional intelligence, EQ. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 7. Cultivate emotional intelligence, EQ. While IQ often gets the spotlight, EQ, your ability to understand and manage emotions, is what truly determines success in relationships, leadership, and personal fulfillment. By the end of this chapter, you'll learn how to recognize and regulate your emotions, build empathy, and communicate effectively. Let's dive in and unlock the power of emotional intelligence to transform your interactions and elevate your life. 1. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, EQ, consists of 4 core components: self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. Together, these elements allow you to navigate emotions, both your own and those of others, with clarity and compassion. Studies show that people with high EQ are more resilient, better at resolving conflicts, and excel in teamwork. As psychologist Daniel Goleman, a pioneer in EQ research, explains, IQ gets you hired, but EQ gets you promoted. Developing emotional intelligence isn't just about improving relationships, it's about creating a foundation for lasting success. 2. Strategies to cultivate emotional intelligence. Now that you understand the importance of EQ, let's discuss practical ways to develop it. Here are 3 proven methods. A. Practice self-awareness through reflection. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of emotional intelligence. Start by tuning into your emotions throughout the day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now, and why? Journaling can be a powerful tool for this process. Write down your thoughts and feelings to identify patterns and triggers. For example, if you notice frustration building during meetings, reflect on whether it stems from unmet expectations or miscommunication. Understanding the root cause helps you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. B. Develop empathy by listening actively. Empathy, the ability to understand others' emotions, is essential for building trust and connection. One of the best ways to cultivate empathy is through active listening. When someone speaks, give them your full attention. Avoid interrupting or planning your response while they're talking. Instead, focus on their words, tone, and body language. As author Stephen Covey wisely said, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." By prioritizing understanding, you create space for deeper, more meaningful relationships. C. Regulate emotions with pause and respond techniques. When emotions run high, it's easy to say or do things you later regret. To prevent this, practice pausing before responding. Take a deep breath, count to 5, or even step away for a moment to cool down. This simple act gives your rational brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. For instance, if a colleague criticizes your work, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Instead, acknowledge their feedback and take time to process it objectively. Responding calmly demonstrates maturity and strengthens professional relationships. 3. A real-life example, transforming through EQ. Let me share the story of Rachel, a team leader who struggled with workplace conflicts. Her inability to manage her emotions often led to heated arguments, damaging both her reputation and team morale. Determined to improve, Rachel committed to cultivating emotional intelligence. She began journaling daily to better understand her emotional triggers. During meetings, she practiced active listening, ensuring her team felt heard and valued. Finally, she adopted the pause and respond technique, which helped her stay composed under pressure. Over time, Rachel noticed a shift. Her team became more collaborative, and her leadership style earned respect and admiration. By mastering EQ, Rachel transformed not only her career but also her personal life. 4. A quote to reflect on. Before we conclude this chapter, I'd like to leave you with an inspiring quote from Maya Angelou. "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Emotional intelligence is about creating positive, lasting impressions through empathy and understanding. Chapter 9. Rule number 8. Embrace growth mindset. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 8. Embrace growth mindset. Have you ever wondered why some people bounce back from failure while others get stuck in self-doubt? The answer lies in their mindset. A growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed, empowers you to embrace challenges, learn from setbacks, and unlock your full potential. By the end of this chapter, you'll understand the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and discover actionable strategies to cultivate a mindset of continuous improvement. Let's dive in and transform the way you approach obstacles. 1. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Psychologist Carol Dweck, who pioneered the concept of mindset, identified two distinct ways of thinking. Fixed mindset, believing that talents and intelligence are innate and unchangeable. People with a fixed mindset avoid challenges, fear failure, and feel threatened by others' success. Growth mindset, believing that skills and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Those with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities, embrace feedback, and view failure as a stepping stone to success. As Dweck explains, the view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life. Shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset opens the door to limitless possibilities. 2. Strategies to cultivate a growth mindset. Now that you understand the power of a growth mindset, let's discuss practical ways to develop it. Here are 3 proven methods. A. Reframe failure as feedback. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Instead of viewing mistakes as proof of inadequacy, reframe them as valuable lessons. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? For example, if you didn't get the promotion you wanted, analyze what skills or experiences might have been lacking. Use this insight to grow and prepare for future opportunities. B. Celebrate effort over outcome. In a growth mindset, Effort is more important than results. Focus on the process rather than obsessing over perfection. Whether you're learning a new skill or tackling a challenging project, celebrate the hard work you put in, even if the outcome isn't what you hoped for. As Thomas Edison famously said after countless failed attempts to invent the light bulb, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perseverance exemplifies the power of valuing effort over immediate success. C. Surround yourself with growth-oriented people. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your mindset. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire you to grow, challenge you to improve, and support your journey. Their attitudes and behaviors will influence your own. Join communities, attend workshops, or seek mentors who embody a growth mindset. Their encouragement and insights will fuel your motivation to keep pushing forward. 3. A real-life example, thriving through growth. Let me share the story of Alex, an aspiring writer who faced rejection after rejection from publishers. Initially, he felt defeated, questioning whether he was cut out for writing. But instead of giving up, Alex adopted a growth mindset. He began analyzing feedback from editors, identifying areas for improvement in his storytelling and grammar. He joined a local writers' group, where he received constructive criticism and learned from others' experiences. Most importantly, he reminded himself daily that every great author started as a beginner. Within a year, Alex published his first novel, which went on to receive glowing reviews. By embracing a growth mindset, he transformed setbacks into stepping stones and achieved his dream. 4. A quote to inspire you. Before we wrap up this chapter, I'd like to leave you with a powerful quote from Nelson Mandela. "It always seems impossible until it's done." A growth mindset reminds us that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with persistence and determination. Chapter 10. Rule number 9 and number 10. Take action and build resilience. In this chapter, we'll explore rule number 9 and rule number 10. Take action and build resilience. Knowledge is powerful, but it's only through action that transformation truly happens. And when challenges arise, as they inevitably will, resilience ensures you keep moving forward. By the end of this chapter, you'll learn how to translate insights into action and develop the mental fortitude to overcome obstacles. Let's dive in and equip you with the tools to create lasting change and thrive in the face of adversity. 1. Rule number 9. Take action. Start small, think big. One of the biggest barriers to success isn't lack of knowledge, it's hesitation. Many people wait for the perfect moment to act, but perfection is an illusion. The key is to start small and build momentum. Why starting small works? Big goals can feel overwhelming, but breaking them into manageable steps makes them achievable. For example, if your goal is to write a book, commit to writing just 1 paragraph a day. Over time, those paragraphs add up to chapters, and eventually, a completed manuscript. The power of consistency. Progress is built through consistent effort, not sporadic bursts of activity. As author James Clear reminds us, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Focus on creating daily habits that align with your goals, and trust the process. Overcoming procrastination. If you're struggling to take action, use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This simple strategy helps you break inertia and builds the habit of follow-through. 2. Rule number 10. Build resilience. Thrive through challenges. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, is what separates those who give up from those who persevere. Here's how to cultivate resilience. Reframe adversity as growth. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Develop a support system. Resilience isn't about going it alone, it's about leaning on others when needed. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Whether it's friends, family, or mentors, having a strong support network strengthens your ability to endure tough times. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself during difficult moments. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment, and remind yourself that setbacks are part of the journey. Research shows that self-compassion boosts emotional resilience and reduces stress. 3. A real-life example: rising above challenges. Let me share the story of Maria, a single mother who faced financial hardship after losing her job. Struggling to provide for her children, she felt overwhelmed and unsure of her next steps. Instead of giving in to despair, Maria took action. She enrolled in an online course to learn digital marketing, a field she had always been curious about. Every evening, after putting her kids to bed, she spent an hour studying and practicing her skills. When setbacks arose, such as rejections from potential clients, Maria reminded herself that failure was part of the process. She leaned on her support system, a close friend who encouraged her and celebrated her small wins along the way. Within 6 months, Maria secured her first freelance client. Today, she runs a thriving business, proving that resilience and action can turn even the toughest situations into opportunities. 4. A quote to inspire you. Before we conclude this audiobook, I'd like to leave you with a timeless quote from Helen Keller. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Resilience and action are your tools to not only endure life's challenges but to emerge stronger and wiser. Audiobook conclusion. Let's take a moment to recap the 10 powerful brain rules you've learned in this audiobook. 1. Understand your default mode network, DMN. Learn to quiet your wandering mind and stay present. 2. Master the art of focus. Harness your attention to achieve peak performance. 3. Leverage the power of habit formation. Build positive routines that stick and break free from self-sabotaging behaviors. 4. Harness the neuroscience of motivation. Use dopamine and small wins to sustain drive and energy. 5. Manage stress like a pro. Protect your brain from the damaging effects of chronic stress through mindfulness, exercise, and reframing. 6. Boost your memory and learning skills. Optimize your brain's ability to retain and apply knowledge. 7. Cultivate emotional intelligence, EQ. Master your emotions and build stronger, more meaningful relationships. 8. Embrace growth mindset. See challenges as opportunities and failures as stepping stones to success. 9. Take action. Start small, stay consistent, and turn knowledge into results. 10. Build resilience. Develop the mental strength to overcome setbacks and thrive in adversity. These rules are not just theories. They're actionable strategies designed to help you unlock your brain's full potential and transform your life. Now that you've learned these 10 brain rules, it's time to put them into practice. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It happens one small step at a time. Be patient with yourself, stay committed to growth, and trust the process. With determination and resilience, you can overcome any obstacle and achieve the success you've always dreamed of. As you move forward, keep this in mind: your brain is no longer holding you back, it's now your greatest ally. Believe in your ability to grow, adapt, and thrive. The journey doesn't end here, it's only the beginning of a brighter, wiser future. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Your Brain Is Secretly Holding You Back. 10 Brain Rules to Change Your Life. It has been an honor to guide you through this transformative journey. I hope these insights inspire you to take action, embrace challenges, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. If you found value in this audiobook, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Wisdom Audiobooks on YouTube. Your support helps us continue creating content that empowers and educates people around the world. Together, let's spread wisdom and positivity to everyone who needs it. Once again, thank you for being part of this journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay resilient, and remember, your wisdom journey starts here, and it never truly ends.